on the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium, just north of downtown Tampa. Today, Week 17 is upon us, and we've got a good one in store here, as it'll be the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Certainly happy to have you along. Chase McLaughlin has it on the tee, and off we go here in Tampa. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. At their own 20-yard line.
Here we go. Behind. Right, 80. 11. Behind.
Off the play fake. Here's Burrow. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Jamar Chase. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Bengals are on the board first here on the road in Tampa. One play in the end zone on a long touchdown pass. You knew they wanted to get him involved. He's their go-to guy. First play, though, wow.
Yeah, and I remember when I was playing, something similar happened. I remember getting to the sideline, and my coach said, so what in the scouting report with circling him, putting a star by him, did you not get that he was a good player? And that's the question I would have for them now. You know, as you said, he's a go-to guy. How is he not covered? No, I should say, covered well.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Now Mayfield and the Bucs come up on 1st and 10 at their own 21. They'll start on the ground with Irving. And not much doing there, maybe a yard up to the 23. You talk about this Bengals defense. They enter this one 18th in the NFL in stopping the run.
One thing players always tell us is that they never really pay attention to numbers. I don't believe them for a second. They know where they rank, okay? They're not quite at the top, but they're far from the bottom. But let's face it, they want to move up. In order to do that, they've got to look at each other and make sure everyone's taking care of their assignments in order to play the run better.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and that will bring up 3rd and 1. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try to keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The Bucs at 11-4 now on the year. They've gone a full couple of months now since their last loss. Winners of 8 in a row.
And we always talk about how a team has to play complementary football in order to really be a good squad. But I think in this league, if your offense isn't playing really well as this one is, you're not going to run off this kind of a streak.
And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
Here's 2nd and 10. To throw, Mayfield. He'll get this complete to the rookie first-round pick. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down.
Regular. That's done.
Mayfield off the play fake. They'll get this into the hands of Dillon, complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Mayfield on play action. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Going to the air again with Mayfield. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 34-yard line. A third down gain of 19. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. The defensive line made pretty easy work of the offensive line that time.
And people get tired of the cliche that the battle is won in the trenches. But it's a cliche because it's true. And how about the battle right there? One on the edge, and the ball carrier did not benefit.
And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on third down. It's rare that a man his size can't at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't, but he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
Here we go.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last time that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
You look at this defense for Tampa Bay. Well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And all defensive teams that I know talk about creating turnovers. Takeaways, they call them. And anytime you can get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really, really good performance. They exceeded that number in a big way.
180, 11 mighty, 11 mighty, 12, 12, 12.
Up the middle they go. Monk. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
11. Right 80. 11 MT.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
2nd and 10.
Here we go. Side. Right 80. Right side. Side.
Burrow on play action. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. Burrow on his toes that time as they get the first down.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man coverage was so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 41.
11. Big 13. Big 13. Side.
Now they go play action now. Burrow. And that is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Side. 11 Thomas. 12. Side.
Now it's Burrow. This one complete to Yoshibans. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down.
Gun. Side. Right 80. Right side. Punch. Side.
Now Burrow. Throw left side, complete to Chase.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
McPherson's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 10-3 our score after one here on EA Sports. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
Now Mayfield. Going for Evans, but that pass is intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Battle. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. So the interception there. And, Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
Now 2nd and 3.
12. 12.
They'll keep it on the ground. Monk. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here now, 3rd and a yard.
11. It's just set. 8.
Now a handoff up the middle. Monk. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Evan McPherson out for the Bengal field goal. He hit his first. Now this from 43. McPherson's kick is good. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10.
Good. 180. What's up?
Baker going to give it to Irving. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Real. What's up?
Mayfield down. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Good, clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3-and-out.
Arises on to punt here as he gets this one away. Fielded at about the 28. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10.
On one, right?
The Bengals drive about to get going. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but there's that special one there. I say they go get him.
11 mighty. 11 mighty. Here we go. Here we go. Stop.
They'll keep it on the ground. Monk. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Stop. Ready. Stop.
Now it's Burrow. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
When you run into slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
And how about this, a fake? And this is caught, and the fake will work. He's going to have a 1st down. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line.
11 Thomas.
Up the middle they go. Monk. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
Out of the gun, it's Burrow. He's going to have the hook up here to Chase. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 14. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another 1st.
1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
12. 12. It's just set. 11. 11. Right, 80. Stop.
Now a handoff up the middle. Monk. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss.
12, 12, 12.
They go play action with Burrow. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long.
Stop. 180. What is that? Stop.
Burrow looking to pass. Connecting on the out route here with Higgins. And he'll be brought down well short of the 1st at about the 9-yard line. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that'll bring up 4th down. McPherson's kick is good. And the lead stretches. 16-3 now. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, kind of a costly one, as he won't make it back to the 20. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Mayfield. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Mayfield going to switch things up here. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jordan Battle. And the Bengals are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
Gun.
They have been red hot, sometimes white hot here in this first half. They're just looking to add to that total right now.
And this has to serve as a reminder to myself because so many times I get wrapped up in the play calling, how they've sequenced things, how it's run. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's still execution. Those guys out on the field, and right now they are locked in and really looking good.
They'll try to continue to be locked in here as we get ready to approach halftime. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And that's incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
11 MT.
Burrow will throw. Going deep here for Allen. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, it was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Here's Mayfield. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now it's 2nd and 10. Mayfield to throw it. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on. Third down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. A run up the middle with Irvin. And he is stopped just short of 3rd down. Got 9 yards, but needed 10. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. So they'll pass on what would have been a 49-yard field goal attempt, and they're going for it on 4th down. They'll try it now with Irvin. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Play fake. Mayfield. Nowhere to turn here. He's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Throwing. Mayfield. Breaks through the contact. Oh, he's brought down. And remember here, no timeouts left. They got to get to the line quick. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. And he quickly clocks it, and they're going to have a good shot at getting 3 here before the break. Final play of the half, Mayfield. Touchdown! A Mecca Walker in the final seconds of the first half. And the Bucs are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. So the late touchdown there, and that certainly changes things as we move toward halftime.
Yeah, and there's a potential for things to change even more because, remember, they get the ball first to start the 3rd quarter. So they can potentially double up here and take the lead. A great opportunity for them.
Boy, they're down only 1 score, still first half, but they're going to line up for the onside kick. And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. And now a fumble. The ball's out. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. So the difference is 6 points as we get set to resume action here in this 3rd quarter of play. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the 3rd quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, you know, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game, and to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They go play action. Mayfield. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. And they're indeed going. It's Mayfield. And some room to maneuver. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense that's certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
That's the right side here, complete. And he's going to have the Bucs first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Now Baker going to change it up. On 1st and 10, here's Irvin. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game.
Hey, 180! King! What's up?
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 31, here's 2nd and 6.
Hey, alert!
To throw, Mayfield. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
180! Regular! Stop!
On 3rd down, they go with Irvin. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here. Looking to throw. Irving. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bucs try it on 4th down, but come up empty. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. The Bengals drive about to get going.
Here we go. 12, 12, 180. What is that? Stop.
Burrow now off the bootleg. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Yaya Diaby able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I'm sure a lot of time was spent in the locker room, Charles, and talking with his defense about setting a tone here in the 3rd quarter when you're down on the scoreboard. A sack like that, maybe that can get him going.
Yeah, you have to believe exactly what you just said, that they got together and said, let's be some change agents here. Let's go ahead and turn things around. Let's be the force that gets us going here in the 2nd half and puts us in a position to find a way to win the game. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd and 8.
Here we go. 11, empty, take. 180. Stop.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. 2 yards on the pickup there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him, because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
11, 11. Stop.
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 41-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another 1st. So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 41.
11. Hey, can. Stop.
Up the middle they go. Monk. He pushes through a would-be tackler to get about 3 yards, 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the 1st half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
11. Stop.
Play action. It's Burrow. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
The good signal callers will never go back in the huddle and play the blame game, because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Here we go. 180. Stop.
Here's Burrow. That is caught. And he is going to have a Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. And Burrow going to slide to the ground as he does pick up the 1st down. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Partner, there's a downside to everything, and the danger of man coverage is if you're locking down your target, you often turn your back to the quarterback and you don't see him. Sometimes you open up a big lane for him to hit you for big yardage, and that was an astute play by him to scramble out, see that lane, and burn them for a 1st down.
So the scoring dried up here in the 3rd. Nothing that quarter for either side. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
Here we go, here we go. 11, 11, 11. 12, 12. What?
Now a handoff up the middle. Monk. And he gets this inside the 10 to the 9. It's also a gain of 9. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
And here he'll get it down to the 7. They give them 2 yards there as they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the 4th quarter already. Got to tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3.
You know, when this offense gets down here near the end zone, they're going to turn to their bell cow, and this guy's been a touchdown machine all year. Excellent job stopping him there on 1st down.
11 MT, 11 MT.
They'll try to run this one in. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard without the 2. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Yeah, boy, a good surge defensively. It'll depend on the mark, but I'm not sure he got there. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what, right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it.
Here we go, here we
I
go.
want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it.
A great effort there with his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter.
I'm one, ready?
Burrow and the Bengals offense staying put. They'll go for 2 here.
Here we go.
Bengals will line up for the
180.
two-point conversion.
Let it shot. 11, 11. 12, 12, 12.
They'll try and throw for it. And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more.
Bengals 24, Buccaneers.
So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Open man is Ibuka. From the 43, here's 2nd down and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 43-yard line.
Mayfield off the play fake. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 7. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
down.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Hurry, hurry. Be ready. Point it right. Run. What's up?
Desperation time. Mayfield on 4th down. He's going to wind up and air it out. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The Bucs try it on 4th down but come up empty. And the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position.
12. 11. Right, 80. 11 MT.
They'll run on 1st down. Monk. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
At the 45-yard line.
Here we go. Right, 80. What is that? 11 MT. 11 MT. Tank. 11 MT. Tank. 11.
Off the play fake. Here's Burrow. Looking deep here for Chase. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked by Antoine Winfield Jr. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Good. Real. What's up?
Following the interception, Mayfield. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a 1st down. But correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Oh, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the 4th quarter. Should rely more on the passing attack?
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try to find some targets in the open field downfield.
And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 23.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Mayfield looks to throw. Gets it to Strong. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now Mayfield. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And the Bengals are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. You know, I was going to ask you if maybe they should surprise and pass the ball, but where they're at on the field, I think keep it on the ground, right?
I like where you're going with this one because field position is going to determine these play calls. And backed up where they are, I don't even think about putting the ball in the air. I tell my running backs, grasp the football, and I tell my offensive line, don't allow any leaks so they get hit immediately when we hand it off.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here.
Right, 80, 11, 11. 11 MT, 11 MT. Stop.
Now it's Burrow. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Yaya Diaby picks up his second sack of the afternoon. The Bengals bring out their punter now. On presumably to punt, though he did complete a pass earlier. Returnable here from the 38. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Baker. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 30.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Now Mayfield. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. He got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackle. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And now the focus is really clear. They need to get that first down and either get out of bounds or maybe use one of those timeouts.
They'll come to the line. This is 3rd and 3. Mayfield. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Baker changing the play at the line.
1st and 10 at the 10-yard line.
Straight ahead, it's Irvin. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. Here's 2nd down. Now they'll change things around before the snap. They'll stay on the ground with Irvin. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with the clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Coming from where they were, they knew this was going to be tough, but they got the touchdown. Now they need the miracle, the onside kick and a little extra.
Yeah, and you have to get the onside kick and not have the ball bounce around a lot and eat up time. You want to be able to grab it, possess it, and get your offense out there for what you just termed a miracle last chance.
Bengals 24, Buccaneers 18.
So looking at this situation, you should have time for the onside kick and then at least one play. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie.
What a finish in this one, Charles. You know, this group, they come in, they have to fight a hostile atmosphere every snap. They get the late score, they get the victory, and that flight home, it's going to be a little sweeter after this one.
And Brandon, just like you, I was fired up for that last sequence. How about that? Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the huddle when they were mounting that game-winning drive? Big-time moment. No one shied away from it. They tuned out the crowd, kept their heads, and executed the way they needed to earn that win.
So for the Bengals,
the victory gets them back to 500, 8-8 on the year.
So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.